Hopefully today's reel give you some things to think about, that sometimes the issues with your foot can come from your hip, and sometimes the issues with your hip can come from your foot, but that they both have to work really well together. And so sometimes when you see flat feet, it is an issue in your feet. I feel like so many times we've been taught that it's genetic, and while there definitely is a genetic component, I have never met a pair of feet where you can't overcome your genetics. Like, yes, you might lean one way more so than the other, but with some effort directed towards your mobility and your strength, anyone can have a functional foot. So don't write it off as, my mom had flat feet, my grandma had flat feet, I have flat feet, end of story. It's not true. Don't tell yourself that. So sometimes in feet, it's a mobility issue, and if you lack the ability to move forward over top of your foot, instead you will roll in. If you lack the ability to create an arch, you can learn the strength and control both in your foot and your hip to maintain that arch in functional movement. And I have more reels to come on both of those, on gaining better mobility in your foot to help you have a better arch, and on gaining better strength in your foot to help you have a better arch. But sometimes it's not an issue with your foot, it's an issue with the way that you stand and how you're distributing weight over your feet. And so this is where thinking of the four corners of your foot really comes into play. I definitely borrowed this from yoga. I love lots and lots of aspects of yoga. And so when you think about keeping your weight over those four corners of your foot instead of how you normally stand, then you want to think about what is changing when you do that. So are you shifting from standing more forward to standing a little bit more back, or vice versa? And then you want to take what you learned from this concept, from where you need to put your weight to teach you where you need to focus your effort in your hip. So like, as an example, let's say that you were somebody who shifts your weight forward over the balls of your foot, and as you shift your weight back, you feel like you're not clenching in your bum as much anymore. You feel like you're activating the front of your hip more. And so this lesson, the idea of those 4 points can teach you the lesson that you can then carry over to how do you use your hip. So maybe in that particular situation, you would need more mobility in the back of your hip, more activation of the muscles in the front of your hip to have a more centered function of your hip, to then also have a more centered and more functional foot. So hopefully that helps you connect some of those dots and see how it works in your body.